they're wasting so much time talking to Tom, Dick, and Harry, who were kind of just given a very vague rundown of the job. Many, many,
Yeah.
many times, especially in the chrono space, I've seen it's a technical functional role, and so the recruiter goes and they're, hey, I've got this technical role for you, and they're like, oh, I'm all technical, and so they end up getting lined up for an interview, and the interviewer's like, you've done nothing we need you to have done. Nothing. And then at that point, it's unfortunate, but it is a very awkward and almost, I don't want to be so dramatic, but it is almost humiliating, right? To the
Yeah.
client who just wasted
Yeah.
their time, the consultant who've just wasted their time, and the recruiter kind of looks like a moron. And it's
Yeah.
it's it's like everybody's kind of at a loss when these situations happen, but because of the reliance on outside recruiters and the lack of internal recruiters and the lack of expertise within the recruiting space, you're seeing this happen more and more and more and more frequently. And it's kind of ballooning. It's almost like inflation in and of itself, of this complete lack of understanding between the recruiter and the end client and the consultant that gets caught in between of it all.
So in recruiting, I think the biggest thing is just like obviously what everything Mo said. I think part of the problem that leads to that is there's a lack of understanding about what happens in recruitment. Like if you say, what does a recruiter do? You would probably be like 12 different answers and all of them would be wrong. Because like at its basic core, a recruiter, what we do is when a company has an issue with hiring, we solve that issue. And that could be anything from actually finding the talent to getting the talent to stay through the process, to creating a compensation plan, to making sure your compensation is correct within your budget. And to quote a person much smarter than me from Futurama, when you've done something right, people will think you haven't done anything at all. And I think that is apropos of recruitment in general. And that when you do things exceptionally well in recruitment, it makes the process or the pipeline so smooth that people think you didn't do anything. So when you're actually seeing these like hiring go very smoothly, you're like, oh, we don't need recruiters. Like, no, a recruiter is the one who did that, whether they be internal or external. And the problem we're having right now, which is basically the inflation of like failure and confusion in the hiring process, is there's less of the so like there's less of the internal recruiters that have the time to even do that because it's our job to push back and fix the process. So these and again, that's kind of the thing, is that like there is a key difference between what internal and external recruiters do, and it really kind of breaks down to more high volume versus targeted searching. So like a
Yeah.
passive versus active candidates. And there is a difference between those two jobs. And when you get one to do the other, they're not going to always fit. Luckily, I can bounce between the two, although I do have my preferences. So yeah, I think that is part of the problem right now, is that everybody is not setting it up. You got to give us the time, and that's what we can do to fix it so that you don't have a problem.